Hello and welcome to edCafe. Today we are here with a very special guest, but not with the usual conversation. He is also one of our business partners, very new business partners, and this partnership is very close to us because what we are doing is something that we really believe in. I would not get into the details and bore you there. I would like to jump directly to him. So ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Anup Tomy, founder of PLearn Math Labs. Anup, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for believing in EUPP and what we are doing with the education system here. And I would like you to tell our audience about what exactly PLearn is.
Okay.
What exactly you're doing, what is the idea behind it, what is your vision?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you.
And yeah, so PLearn Maths Kit and lab items was developed with the intention of helping schools as well as children learn maths in a more interactive way. So the traditional method of mathematics learning had its limitations. Like for example, it's mostly textbook based. There'll be a blackboard. Now there's a smart board in classroom, but again the primary involvement of the students is through worksheets or problem solving in the textbook, right? But this is not how maths should be learned. Maths was usually learned by deriving concepts from nature, right? Like for example, why did we come up with Pythagoras theorem? It was not for solving exam questions. It was meant to make our life easier. Like if there's a tall structure, how do you measure the height of the structure? You cannot go up the structure and then put down a tape and ask then measure the height of the structure. It's impossible. So that is the reason why we came up with all these concepts, right? To make our day-to-day life easier. But somewhere down the line, we detached from that, from that mode of learning, and it became mostly about exam scores, and maths lost its charm. So moving forward, we believe maths is going to be more and more relevant given the emergence of big data, machine learning. So you need to have a sound concept of maths if you want to survive or contribute to the revolution which is coming, right? So for that you have to start early. So that fear factor of maths has to be taken away from the students. It has to be made more interactive, experimental, holistic and interesting. So that's why we developed the product for schools as well as for students to rekindle that interest in maths. Yeah. So
rekindling the interest in math, that's a very nice phrase. Math, you're right, mathematics as a concept, as a subject has always been a very fearful topic. Fearful subject, one of the most, it is supposedly one of the most difficult subjects for most of the students, especially students like me. But I'm just going back to my school days where I was not aware of why we were learning Pythagoras theorem or many other theorems and concepts that we were taught, right? Idea was to mug up the concepts, appear for the exams, get good marks and move on with that, right? But today, like you said, that you are trying to conceptualize the experiential learning, or what you call it, activity based learning, right? How do you think your product or the activity based learning concept that you're bringing in is going to help the students move ahead with the concepts? So I learned mathematics in my own way, right? I had that theoretical part where I used to mug up the theorems and all everything.
Yeah.
But now if using PLearn, a student would be, which I am presuming that student would be able to see the or envision the concepts right in front of their eyes, right? How will that help them to retain or use that concept in down their future?
First of all, math is not an independent subject. Again, this is something that our schools have been trying to tell us, like there's a mathematics period, there's a chemistry period, there's a physics period, but do you know that there is no Nobel Prize for mathematics? Because maths is related to all the subjects. Maths is considered the mother of all science. So for the students, right, once they are having a sound background in mathematics, and which happens usually through activity based learning, and I'm not trying to promote our product alone, I'm just saying that once you learn maths in a fun interactive way and you are able to see the relevance of that particular concept with other subjects, it opens up a different paradigm in your mind. One example being the B comp, right? B comp is actually a mathematical, it's derived from mathematics. Bees have done extensive research, right, if you may, on what's the most optimum size of their hive, which is something that we learn in maths. Like if there is a square, and if you try to place inside the square different shapes, there's a circle, there is a square, there's a hexagon. The shape that is more stable and which loses the minimum amount of space is a hexagon.
Yeah.
This is the reason why bees shapes is in a hexagon shape, bees hive, right? So this maths happens all around us, right? Once you learn these concepts in a fun interactive way, not because of the fear of I should score well in exam, if you can enjoy maths a bit more, you are able to connect maths to the other subjects as well, right? This is what we are trying to tell. We are not trying to say that by using activity based learning you will score better in exam. Now that's not the intention here, because scoring well for exams have not gotten us anywhere really. Right?
So
it's usually the students who enjoyed that particular subject have achieved their dreams, right? I'm not saying we did not achieve our dreams. I'm just saying that if they wanted to become a scientist, just because they scored well in exam did not guarantee that became a more a scientist that contributes effectively to the society. So we need more students who enjoy the subject. I'm not saying just purely for mathematics. I'm saying that even for physics, chemistry, whatever subject you are learning, you need to enjoy it. Only then you are able to connect the subject to the other the connected subjects as well, right? So that's what we are trying to do here.
So I agree, and you've convinced me as to how activity based learning of mathematics will help the students. But tell me one thing, this is something out of the blue that I'm coming up with, considering that I've learned mathematics the hard way. So how did you come up with this idea? How did you come up with the concept? Do you have any prior affliction to mathematics or with the subject or something?
On a personal level, yes, I have scored 100 out of 100 in my
grade. Okay.
Maths was always an interesting subject for me, but then again I was not able to do the connection. It's because again I studied for exams. I'm being honest here. But once we got into this product, and we have a lot of interesting mathematicians in our team. So they do a constant R&D, right, on how to make this concept interesting. So once I'm around this team, I start realizing how easy and interconnected a lot of these concepts were. I wish I had this product when I was in school, not because to score more. I'm just saying that this would have made my learning trajectory a bit more interesting, right? So to answer your question, what convinced me this product would help, or why I got into the product, again, like, I am able to enjoy it now at this phase of my life. I'm sure students, if they had given this kind of learning tool, they would also enjoy the subject, and I don't want to deny them of this, this joy. So that's why we decided that this should not be limited to our small team inside our small state or small zone. Should be available across. And I'm pretty sure if the students get to know this product and they learn from activity-based learning pedagogy, there will be some changes happening in the future, positive changes. I'm confident about that.
That's right. Your math labs and the kits that you've created for the students, are they restricted to a certain level of understanding or a certain level of intelligence or a certain level of curriculum? Is there any restriction to the concepts that you are teaching or trying to convey through your product?
Actually no, because concepts remain the same regardless, right? Each student is required to learn that concept.
So trigonometry stays the same.
Yeah. So arithmetic remains the same. So the concepts are the same. Now what you are asking about is the difficulty parts. So for that, in our products we have introduced elements of difficulty like puzzles and all that. So the level of understanding of a student or the ability for a student to learn would change from student to student. Some students are able to grasp the subject faster or the concept faster. There are some students who need a bit more time. Does not mean that they are lacking in IQ or something like that. It's just they need a bit more attention or focus from the teacher for them to understand the concept. So what do you do with the other students who have already understood the concept? So for them, it's better to introduce certain activities related to that particular concept, so they are engaged, right? Whereas the other students have time to catch up. This is something a task for a teacher, and usually it's a big task for a teacher because not every student accepts or learns the concept at the same time. They have different level of understanding. So our product is tuned for that as well to some extent, but this is not an app. Right? App usually have the concept of gamification. So there is a small element of gamification in our product, but again, we are not trying to compete with an app in terms of gamification. We are trying to introduce that concept of touch and feel in maths. There is a concept of touch and feel as well, especially in lower grades. Students, when they are learning shapes, if I say to you rectangle have 4 sides, how would you know that? A square or a circle have no sharp corners. Your teacher can draw on a board, but what do you think it will feel better if the student can touch and feel like, a triangle have 3 sharp edges.
Maybe
a square has 4 sharp edges.
3D pictures.
Would exactly. If they touch and feel, they would really enjoy it. So this is the the unique offering of our product. Let the student touch and feel maths.
So that's a good idea, especially in the times when I think almost everything that you can think of in education is trying to go digital. You're trying to retain the charm of the subject and yet make it easier to learn, which is actually what the digital counterparts are doing.
Correct.
Right? This is just better from that perspective, right? I'm simply thinking that almost this mathematics lab is something that is very new to me. I mean, of course, it would have been, the concept would have been there for a long time. I'm not denying that, but activity-based learning for mathematics is something really new for me. But other subjects, as far as they're concerned, English, languages basically, and science labs is something that, of course, we experienced. Computer labs were there. So these labs have been very prominent. Along with mathematics, now the schools are going for a very hands-on, thing. I mean, for the lack of the right word, they're going very heavy on the activity-based learning themselves. They're trying to adopt these concepts. I'm not saying that all the schools are doing, but most of them are. The progressive ones are doing it, right? Even the people who are not able to do it, they have their own constraints, but I believe they agree with the idea to some extent. I'm saying that what do you think? So it's a very holistic question. It has nothing to do with PLearn. It has nothing to do with any particular product or any particular subject. The impact of activity-based learning. What do you feel will be the impact of activity-based learning in, let's say, 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line? How do you see it? How do you vision it?
A lot of countries are now discussing the concept of STEM. You must have heard about STEM.
Yeah.
And now it became STEAM. But the concept still remains, the main focus still remains STEM, which is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. So for the other three elements, you have mentioned the schools are investing in virtual reality labs, science, physics, chemistry labs, even language labs are coming up right now in a lot of schools with the idea that these students should later represent India, and our service sector should be able to communicate better with clients abroad. So for that, schools are also investing in language labs as well. But mathematics still remain a grey area in most of the schools because to be fair, they have not been able to understand what needs to be done with mathematics, right? So I feel down the line, what's going to happen is STEM's prominence is going to come up more and more, because even our India's one of the stated goals is to produce more scientists and engineers, right? Qualified engineers. So for that particular task, if you want to compete on international level, I'm not talking about India alone, Singapore, Malaysia, UK, they all have ambitions to create more qualified scientists and engineers. Why do you need more qualified scientists and engineers? It's mostly for production, for your product output, gross national income, right? Or gross national product. So only if the country can export quality products can you improve. So for producing quality products, you need more R&D to happen. For more R&D to happen, you need more qualified engineers and scientists in the country. So it's no secret anymore. Like, we need more scientists and engineers and qualified ones. So they're going to invest more and more in the STEAM or STEM related programs. And I see down the line, 5 years down from now, a lot of schools are going to have dedicated labs for STEM, and I see a lot more interaction with the industry. Now, right now what's happening is schools separated from university separated from industry. I think that what you call the barrier is going to be taken away. Schools are going to interact more closely with universities, and universities is going to interact more closely with industries. I will not be surprised in the future there will be more interaction with schools directly with industry. There will be more experts, scientists and engineers coming down to school trying to explain the relevance of what they are learning and why it's important. So there will be more and more interactions coming up.
I completely understand what you meant there. I was interacting with an educator few weeks back, and she told me that they've got a startup convention for their students, and students from class 6th, 7th, 8th, they've pitched their ideas to the industry experts. They've interacted with them. Few of them have also raised some sort of support from the industry, and of course from universities like IITs and IIMs as well. So they are doing it. And I understand when you say that this is how it's going to progress and this is where it's going to contribute. You're right, mathematics labs are not that prominent, but wherever they are, I believe the schools are very, very progressive, and I wish them well. And I would like to appeal to all the educators who are watching us to move towards the non-conventional methods of learning, especially for concepts like mathematics, because you're right, it's the mother of all sciences. Any message that you would want to give to our audience and or the educators, we would love to hear it from you.
I mean, the message to educators is, I understand you're under a lot of pressure to cover the syllabus, and you have a tight regimen, right? There's certain topics that need to be finished and all that. I understand, but we have to also consider from the students' perspective that tomorrow they need to be also contributors to the society. So the students should not be burdened with the pressure of trying to complete the topics on time. Let them enjoy the topic as well, and use whatever tools you have at your disposal to make sure that the students enjoy the subject as well, and make the learning a enjoyable experience, because school years they'll only get it once. Let them enjoy learning whatever subject they are learning, and keep a a joyful experience when they go to university and later on move on to their careers. Let them enjoy that phase. That's my message to the educators.
Thank you very much, Anup.
Thank you.
So mathematics is not a difficult subject anymore. It's fun to learn mathematics, and Anup and his team from PLearn is doing anything and everything to make that happen. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us today. Next time we would be coming up with another new guest and something really unique to talk about. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we forgot. Can we record? उसको भी बीच में डाल देते हैं. Okay. Cut. हाँ. So we have we have a concept here where it's not a unique one, but we get these mugs signed by all our guests.
Oh.
Don't worry, you sign two, we'll give you one.
You sign over here?
Yeah, wherever you can. All right, another one. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This was great. And cut. Should sign one too. We can pick bites anyway from there.
Okay. It's okay?